Welcome back to Briggs on Books, where we talk to authors from all over the world about their book and their process, how they got to where they are, and how you can order their book, and hopefully get some inspiration for our authors out there who are watching. Our first guest, or our next guest today, is Pastor Owen Williams. Welcome, Pastor.
Good afternoon, Mike. How are you, sir?
Very good. Tell me where you're located.
Once again, Pflugerville, Texas.
Pflugerville.
In the central area of Texas, in this capital city of Austin.
Yeah, I'm going to put the covers up of three of your books here. They seem to have a theme: the Corporate Christian, the Corporate Christian 2, and the Corporate Christian 3. Tell us about the series.
Well, not very original, right? But it's a wonderful series. It's something that I started writing in 2012, and the last one I completed in 2019. They are a series in reference to Christians or anybody entering into the corporate environment and the things that they will encounter in that environment that tend to affect us personally, internally, and can run the risk of damaging us emotionally, professionally, killing our hope, our joy, making us very bitter and angry and on that process. And we wrote these books to help people navigate themselves through the corporate environment, which can be very tempestuous, treacherous, disingenuous, and all these kinds of things.
Certainly, certainly. And who are the books written for? The corporate leaders, or anybody who works for a corporation?
Anybody, specifically leadership, but also, we live in a time right now where everybody wants to promote good leadership, and human development, and all these HR things, etc. But the reality is that we should start to promote it from within ourselves, and not try to develop anybody else. You can't develop someone if you have not been developed.
Right.
And the reality is that people's minds will always lie to them. They'll never tell themselves the truth, specifically. And it is a blessing to have a job, and having a job means that one should always be grateful and treat it a specific way. Not think that you're worthy of it or deserving of it, is what we always hear today, right? I'm not paid what I'm worth, et cetera, et cetera. And that's a very dangerous mindset, because it leads to, thinking that you are better than somebody else.
Right. Now, would this be good for anybody in any level of leadership, not especially corporate, say church leadership or small business leadership?
Church leadership, any type of leadership, any type of you right now, where you are right now, there is a massive strike for an entire industry that promotes a lot of business and money in this country, and you're seeing people that you thought were well off really struggling, and now you're seeing the labor management discourse going on. Well, hasn't started yet, and on both sides, you're going to have internal attitudes of, you're so ungrateful, we did this and I did that, etc., etc. Yeah. And the goal is how to navigate yourself, not to get there, but once you're there, how do you come out of this quagmire? Mm-hmm. And these books deal specifically with the individual. It's not about the negotiating table, but it's about negotiating in your heart. Are you going to give in to jadedness, bitterness, anger, these kinds of things? Will you be changed and transformed? Will you become transactional, or will you continue, to reach across the aisle and have humanity for one another?
Yeah. It's not always just about you and what you can get for yourself, but what you can contribute to the organization.
So, the first book basically takes you on a journey as you come into the environment, right? And you're very, you're a novice and you're feeling good about a job, you get your first paycheck, and 5, 6, 7 months, a year and a half down the line, you find yourself confronted with things like nepotism. Someone comes in higher than you, or you don't get the promotion, or you're dealing with, you see some corruption, or you may deal with some harassment, sexual, physical, these kinds of things. That starts to create a subculture in you in reference to a standard deviation, where you deviate away from what the corporate culture is, what they promote. They promote a clean, pristine environment, that everybody has a chance to be developed, etc., etc. And you hear that, but you feel the subculture, which is the corruption, the moral corruption, sometimes the financial corruption, but most likely the moral corruption through harassments and the lack of pay or, favoritisms and nepotism, et cetera, et cetera. That leads you into your second book, where we tend to now kind of just now become, I'm just going to go through the motions. I'll do only what they tell me to do and leave it at that. Right?
Yeah.
So now you're looking to, you got to be careful that you don't bury your hope, your confidence, your joy, your happiness, because you're still collecting a paycheck. It's still making, it hasn't changed. You're still paying your bills, et cetera. What's changed is you towards that. And then ultimately the hidden war, the war that we deal with on the inside, the Goliath we face every day and the David we don't use. So as we put on the armor under our suits and we go to work, my God, I can't stand going in there today. It's it's just really, and these are things that are very common in capitalistic societies where profits over people, massive layoffs. I mean, early part of this year we went through some layoffs, right? And you saw Amazon lay off 20,000 people,
Yeah. Twitter
let go people, et cetera, et cetera. And leadership, I think, should be very careful with that because it may be profits too, but it's families. Because when you lay people off, kids have to come home from school, cars have to get repossessed, and these kinds of things. And I just don't feel in the 21st century, as we say, we are so much more enlightened. We worry about animals and the environment. Let's worry about each other.
Each other, yeah. Now, there's a point in somebody's job, you described it, a couple of years in, they start hitting the point where they think either I got to move on or I got to move up or something like that. Will these books help people prepare for that? Maybe prepare to stay where they are, find out that they really have a good deal, or will it help people figure out if it's time to move on?
Yes, that's exactly what these books deal with. These books deal with the integration of theology and psychology to help people understand, where you're at and what's precious about that. If I can be a little theological for a second.
Please.
Salvation is a gift from God, right? It's not something that you've earned. You can't earn it. So many people always in our society, they feel that they need to earn something. So because if I'm earning it, that means that you're paying me what I'm worth. And the reality is that, you get the job, don't get the job is the luck of the draw, right? Nowadays. So you have a job, you earn, the only thing that you need to do is be faithful to that job, and that job be faithful to you, hopefully.
Yep.
That's what we believe. But the other things that come about tend to take away our faithfulness from the job. We deal with people we don't like, we deal with people who are different races, ethnic backgrounds, et cetera. And all these things, these distractions take away from the primary focus of you being faithful to your job, because the job has been given to you for one reason only, and that's provision, to provide for your family. The advancements, et cetera, that's on you.
Right.
And if you deviate from that, you run the risk of getting yourself into trouble. The job was given for provision, to provide. We don't hunt, we don't grow farms anymore, we buy. And the job has been given to you to provide. And if you stay in that lane, you may sacrifice some money, but you definitely will not, you won't lose hope and confidence and peace, and won't be frustrated and stuff like that.
Hopefully you'll be able to provide.
And you'll provide, right.
I always say,
At least you'll provide to a point.
Yeah.
And provision is very subjective, because provision is based on your spending habits.
I tell my workers this. I said, I love my job, but this isn't a hobby. I'm not doing it because I do it to make money, to take care of my family and pay my mortgage and stuff like that. So that's why we're here, really, is to get ourselves taken care of. We could love our jobs, no problem there. But I always like.
And if you're faithful to your company, you have a right to expect, if you're faithful, the people you hire should be faithful.
Should be faithful. That's right.
And faithfulness is basically, showing up every day that you're supposed to be there, putting in the work you're supposed to put in, and contributing to ideas and and picking up the slack of what the supervisor missed or someone else missed.
Sure.
All this cantankerism and not my job, this and that, I'm not getting paid for that.
Yeah.
Those are distractions in a sense, and we get there because we've been hurt. And we get hurt because we have the wrong concept of why we're there. from that aspect. So.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. We're out of time, but I love talking to you, Pastor Williams. I could go on all day talking to you. We have your website on the screen, oewilliamsministries.com. What would someone find there?
Well, you'll find the books there. The old covers are there, but they're being taken down because this is a republished edition. It's bigger print, easier read, deeper understanding. But you'll also find some of my activities that I've done over the last decade or so. I am a pastoral counselor. I have 2,500 hours in clinical pastoral counseling and mental health and in a major healthcare institution. I've created a program called Solution Focused Pastoral Counseling, which is my methodology. I teach police officers, early childhood educators, and clergy, how to recognize the 40 different disorders that human beings suffer from. From anger to abortion to rage to discomfort, discouragement, depressions, these kinds of things, cutting. We deal with kids, adults, aging, from the whole spectrum of human life. We've done it in Johannesburg, South Africa. We've done it in the States here. And we do it via Zoom. We're getting ready to do another class coming up in about a month or so, coming up with a bunch of clergy for that.
I think I'm going to go to the website and check it out. I've done it before, but it's very fascinating. I'm going to get some of these books. I'm going to give them out to some people. I know some young people are just starting out, and I think maybe this could help adjust their attitude or get them the right attitude to grow in their job and appreciate their job.
I think I'm being told September 19th they'll be released.
Okay.
These new covers.
The new ones.
That I helped design, which I'm proud of.
Yeah.
So, like that.
Thank you for the larger print, by the way. That's what I'm looking for in my life right now.
Yep. There. So they're being released there. So
Right.
they wait after September 19th would be great.
Okay.
If you can pick them up. And
Christmas time. Everybody's getting a corporate Christian book from me, so get ready.
tell it to your friends.
Last thoughts? We're out of time, Pastor Williams. Anything else you want our viewers to know?
Well, thank you once again for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. Pick up these books. I think these books deal specifically, I'm not going to say they're just self-help, but they give you, an avenue to navigate yourself because, the trajectory of success is not always measured the same for if you're a person of faith, if you're a Muslim, Christian, as compared to a corporate person. So.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Pastor Williams. We'll be back with more authors right after this.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Nice job.
Thank you so much. We're off.
Yes, we're off.